All right, welcome back to Top 5 Vinyl, where we show love to vinyl owners. Today I'm here with Morgan. How's it going, Morgan?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Before we get started, I found you on YouTube, and I understand you have a whole bunch of things going on. Can you let the people know where they can find you and what you have going on?
Yes, so I primarily do YouTube. My YouTube channel is my name, Morgan Brandon. I do a lot of different reaction videos and vinyl content as well. I've been trying different stuff. And a few months ago, July 5th, I did release my second album, Afterglow. I'm
Mm,
also a producer, and I started posting that on my YouTube channel. It's also on SoundCloud, and I do have signed CDs available on Bandcamp.
mm,
If you're interested, all my links are on my channel. So that's what I've
nice.
got going on right now.
That's awesome. Okay, okay. And as far as this channel goes, and yours too, everybody subscribe, like, tell your cool friends, all that cool YouTube stuff you guys got to do out there.
Yep.
Um, with that being said, Morgan, did you have a record player in the house growing up?
No,
Mm,
no. So my parents were not really into vinyl as far as I know. I think they did have a few records when they were kids, like probably teenagers too, around my age. But as they got older into adulthood, they didn't continue that hobby, but they were into CDs. So we did
mm,
have CD players, CDs in the cars. My parents have big CD collections, so I was more into the CD, the
right.
CD.
So that leads me to the next question. How did you get into collecting vinyl?
It's actually kind of like I think it's funny. So I was just I am a YouTuber, so I used to edit videos on my phone before I got a proper
Mm,
camera and setup. So I edited videos on my phone with iMovie, and I was getting really bored just sitting in my room in silence,
mm,
editing my videos for hours, and I wanted another way to be able to listen to music, and I can't edit on my phone while playing music at the same time. So I was looking into other like audio sources. And I thought about maybe doing CDs, but I kind of at the same time was also hearing more and more about vinyl. That's kind of when we had like the vinyl resurgence a little bit a few years ago.
mm,
And I thought that this would now be the perfect time for me to get into vinyl. I've been seeing lots of cool pressings and pictures.
mm,
And so I got my record player. I was able to then play that through my speakers and just enjoy the vibes while I'm
mm,
editing in my room.
That's awesome. That's a cool way to get into vinyl. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of different from most people's stories.
Yeah, definitely. But that's cool though. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite physical place to buy vinyl from?
I would say my favorite would definitely be record stores, although I usually just shop where I can get the best deals, get
Mm,
the best prices.
hmm
So sometimes it's like Walmart or Target in stores, but
Yeah,
it's not the same as a store,
right,
obviously. So
right.
the vibes are so different. I love going to record stores as often as I can.
Yeah. Do you have like a favorite record store or?
Yeah, I would say it's in Chicago.
Mm,
That's kind of where I'm from, like the Chicagoland area.
okay.
And Chicago does have a lot of really awesome record stores. In fact, they're like all on this. There's like three really big popular ones that I like all on the same street, pretty much.
Mm, mm,
It's called, I think it's pronounced Shuga or Shuga,
hmm,
Shuga Records
okay.
in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Yeah, when I walked in, like the vibes were perfect. The
Hmm,
lighting was kind of low and like different color lighting, and they had a wide selection of like everything. Because
mm,
I like dance music, I like electronic, and a lot of the record stores don't have a big selection of that, but they had a big wide selection of electronic and pop
mm,
and rock, just everything. Um, yeah, so that's
mm.
definitely my favorite.
Nice. Okay. And when you first decided to get into the vinyl game, do you remember the first vinyl record that you bought?
First record. Yes. So that was the album by 5 Seconds of Summer. They're a band. The album is called Calm. It's the Target exclusive edition. So
Mm,
I went to Target to get it. The album came out in March, I believe, March of 2020, but I didn't
okay.
get the album until May of 2020.
Okay.
So it's the Target exclusive version of that. And that was like the same month I got my first turntable. And
Mm,
I also posted that on my YouTube channel. So that was pretty
mm,
much, I think, my first vinyl related video. And now it's got like thousands and thousands of views, which surprised me. Like,
right.
it's crazy. But
That's
yeah, so that's
awesome.
how it all started.
Okay. Okay, cool. And with this being top five vinyl, Morgan, can you show me number five? What is the fifth vinyl record that you have in front of you?
Yes. So I was just talking about them. My
Mm,
number five is called Young Blood by 5 Seconds of Summer. And here's the back.
nice.
So this album just has like I have a lot of good memories surrounding it. It came out in 2018. Yeah, came out in 2018, but I didn't really hear it until 2019.
Mm,
I had heard the lead single on this called Youngblood. It's the title track. It's the band's like biggest song, so I heard it all over the radio and stuff. I really, really like the song. And then one day I just decided to hear the rest of the album, and I really, really love it. My friend also really loves the band, so we would listen to this album in school.
mm,
I have, like I said, a lot of good memories surrounding it, and I really, really like the genre as well. It's like I would say it's more pop focused than anything. They are a rock band. There are two
mm,
albums before this, one more like rock, pop rock. But this album is pop and they have a lot of electronic influences as well.
mm,
So in this album specifically, they use a lot of synthesizers and vocal chops, which I wasn't really expecting to hear for like a rock band. And
mm.
it's really fun and it's got like a lot of happy, upbeat songs on it. So this is my number five.
All right, cool. And before we get to your number four, of your five, have you seen any of them live?
I have, yes. Let me double check.
Okay. When we get there, you can let us know.
Yeah. So I've seen all of them live except for number four.
Okay.
And number three, I am going to see live for the first time at the end of this month. So I'm really
Mm,
excited for that.
okay. Okay, cool. All right. So that's your number five. Let's go ahead and take a look at your number four.
All right, so this is number four. This album is called Quest for Fire. It's by Skrillex.
Mm,
So we're jumping like completely different genres now. Skrillex is a DJ producer. This album came out in 2023,
mm,
but before this, he had kind of disappeared. His last album before this, I believe it came out in 2014. And so he didn't really release a lot of music then in the next following decade. So, and I was a fan of his from like 2015 to about 2017. So I was familiar with him. And then once he disappeared, I kind of forgot about him,
mm,
like I'm sure a lot of other people did. And then when I heard about his comeback, it was really, really big in like the electronic dance world. So it was something on my radar.
mm.
And yeah, I was just so excited for him to come back. And it's very, I mean, I'm sure you can tell by the cover. Oh, let me show the back.
Very
It's
artsy.
kind of like, I would say a little creepy, kind of dark kind of vibes going
Right,
on.
right.
And I think it does represent the album. There's a lot of like darker tones and sounds, I would say, very bass heavy music. Um, yeah, and it also introduced me to a lot of different subgenres of dance music that I wasn't really into before. So like I'm primarily a house listener. That's
Mm,
kind of what I grew up listening to, like also being from the, Chicagoland area. My
mm,
parents were playing the house and stuff. But this album has a lot of other genres too, like it's mainly dubstep, but there's also like trap and UK garage. So it's kind of like out there for me, a little outside of my comfort zone.
mm.
But I really, really loved it, like banger after banger. I kind of surprised myself
I
liking
want to
this.
check it out because I feel like I've seen that album cover before, but didn't know who it
Yeah.
was.
Mhm.
I'm interested. Okay. All right,
That's
cool. So that was your number four.
Mhm.
Yep. Let's go ahead and take a look at your number three.
Number three is kind of similar to the last one. This album is called USB
Hmm.
001, which I'll explain in a second.
Okay.
And this album is by Fred Again. So Fred Again is pretty popular now within the dance music world now too. He's actually friends with Skrillex. They
Hmm.
tour together. They make songs together. So I actually heard of Fred Again through Skrillex. And I think this album, so this is like a compilation album. So some of these songs had been released throughout the past couple of years,
Hmm.
but then he put on the last two songs in 2024 this year, earlier this year. And I like the concept of this album USB. So back to the one. So this is volume one. So the concept would be, DJs, a lot of DJs nowadays put all of their music onto USBs that they
Hmm.
take to their shows to use.
Hmm.
And this is like all club, dance, house music kind of stuff. Um, a little bit out of my comfort zone too, though. There are a few genres here that I'm not really, or I wasn't really familiar with until I heard this. kind of like drum and bass UK garage. So that was really cool to get into with this. So anyways, he put all of the songs onto the USB.
Mm, mm,
And so I guess you can kind of think of like the concept. So he takes it to all of his shows. It's all of his club songs that he plays. So it's all on his USB. And so the idea, like on streaming, is that he is going to continue to add to the album,
mm.
the album. So eventually, I'm sure there's going to be volume two, volume three. So for right now, he cut it off at volume one and released this record.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's also my most expensive record.
Oh, I see it's like a double. Is that a double album?
It is. It's a double LP.
Okay. Oh,
Thank
artwork.
you.
Okay, open that up again. Let's see what's on the
Yeah.
inside. What do we have there?
So the inside, this is the actual album cover on streaming.
Okay.
So he did like a special kind of design for this vinyl. So it's like high quality materials and it's supposed to be like a reflective cover as well.
Mm,
You can see it
mm.
a little bit better there with the
Yep,
glue.
yep, yep. Nice.
So yeah, this is him in the middle and then like the crowd around him. So you can kind of get that.
Hmm.
This was $55 on his store, but after shipping and tax, it came to 70.
Mm, mm.
So my most expensive record for sure, but I had the splurge and I had to get it.
Don't let anybody borrow that.
Oh no, no.
All right, cool.
Mhm.
So that's your number three.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and take a look at your number two.
This album is by the Chainsmokers
Mm,
or electronic kind of dance music stuff. So this album is called So Far So Good. It is their fourth album. It came out in 2022. Yeah, 2022. And I believe it came out in May 2022. So it was like the soundtrack to my summer.
mm,
I played this album so much when it came out. The Chainsmokers went on, I believe it was a 2 year hiatus before they released the album. So like I was like really sad, honestly,
mm,
that they were gone, and I was like waiting for them to come back with new music. And I think you can, if you listen to it, I think you can really tell the quality and the time spent on all of these songs.
mm,
And I think it's like peak Chainsmokers sound. I think this is their most creative work to date.
mm,
Like, yeah, there's a lot of like pop singles on here. Like they would release songs for singles for radio, but when you get into like the meat of the album, I think there's really something special there, especially like listening to it for the first time. There were a lot of surprises. Like some songs kind of take you on a journey. Like the first beginning melodies and chords are different from the final
mm.
melodies and chords, and they use some samples. Um, yeah, I just think it's their most creative work to date, and I really love it. Really fun, upbeat, happy, danceable music.
If you had to guess, is there a favorite song on the album? If you had to choose, I should say.
Mm,
If you had, I'm not making you. If you had, I'm just curious.
yeah, I would say on this record itself, I would say I Love You.
Mm,
This is the standard album. They did go on and release a deluxe edition. So my favorite song off the entire project would be called The Fall, and that's from the deluxe edition, but it's not on this record. So
okay,
yeah. So I would say The Fall or I Love You on this
gotcha.
record.
All right, cool. And for the grand finale, what do we have for number one?
Okay. Kind of changing genres again.
Hmm,
This album is called Try Hard. It's by the band Camino.
hmm,
Um, this is 2019 is when it came out, although I didn't hear it until a few years later. Or no, maybe it was the following year. So I heard about the band Camino actually through 5 Seconds of Summer. They were my number five.
hmm,
They're both like rock bands, although this band is a bit newer. So they're more, I would say their sound is more rock, indie, alternative. And they were supposed to open for 5 Seconds of Summer. They were supposed to go on tour with them in 2020.
hmm,
But you know
hmm.
what else happened in
The world.
2020 ended up
Yeah,
canceling.
yeah.
But at the time, I didn't know that it was going to be canceled, obviously. So I was preparing for the tour and I decided to check out the opening act. And let's see, the first song I heard from them, it's called See Through, it's on here. And I heard that song and I fell in love with it. I feel like they have a very similar sound and style to 5 Seconds of Summer. This album, or well, technically it is an EP. Um, It's definitely more pop sounding, I would say. So, oh, let me show the back too. This is what I'm
Mm,
looking at.
yep, yep.
Just the track list. So
Hmm.
it's more pop sounding, I would say, and they also use some electronic elements as well, like synthesizers and vocal chops. It's really fun. Oh, and they also have a lot of guitar solos in almost
Mm,
every single song. So I think
mm,
it's like really fun. Probably I probably like them too, just because of how similar they are to 5 Seconds of Summer. But when I heard this, I could not stop
mm.
listening. Just I absolutely love it. Oh, and this record I have, this one is the orange vinyl.
Okay.
I'll show that.
Okay. Yep, yep.
So this is the standard pressing of it. I want to say I got this probably a few months after I'd started collecting, so towards the end of 2020, I believe, or maybe it was 2021, but it was pretty early on in my collection. So I got this, and then I checked back on their website. It's from their website. I checked back a couple of weeks or maybe a month later, and it was gone.
Mm,
And they never restocked it. So
mm,
I assumed then it was sold out. And now, like to this day, it's very, very rare.
mm.
They did repress it onto a white vinyl, but this one I have now is like super rare.
Hmm.
Uh, I saw it being sold on Discogs for like $100 to $200
Wow.
and on eBay and stuff. So this is also like one of my most prized possessions now too.
Hmm. Hmm.
I love this album so much. I play it all the time. I
That's
love it.
awesome.
Mhm.
Cool. All right,
Yep, that's
cool.
it.
Well, Morgan, I want to appreciate you for breaking down your top five for me.
Yeah, of course. This was so fun. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. And we'll talk soon.
Yep, for sure.
All right, have a good one.
All right, bye.
Bye.